Last time, a banker who bought an emperor with gold. This time, a man who did something far more dangerous. He looked at gold and decided he didn't need it. He invented money out of thin air, a single piece of paper, and used it to become the most powerful man in France. He built the world's first stock market, minted the world's first millionaires, and then watched it all evaporate, taking an entire kingdom down with it. His name was John Law, a gambler, a murderer, and the man who proved that money is just a story we agree to believe. 1671, Scotland. John Law is the son of a goldsmith, born into money and numbers. He grows into something rare, a mathematical genius who can calculate the odds of anything, and a gambler who almost never loses. But in London, a duel over a woman ends with a man dead on the ground. Law is sentenced to death. He escapes prison and vanishes into Europe. For 20 years he drifts city to city, a professional gambler at the card tables by night, and by day obsessed with one radical idea. A nation's wealth, he decides, is not its pile of gold, it's its trade. And trade just needs money to move, money that does not have to be gold, it can be paper. He pitches it to kings across Europe, they laugh him out of the room, until one kingdom runs out of gold. 1715. The Sun King, Louis XIV, dies and leaves France buried under a mountain of war debt, all but bankrupt. The man left holding the wreckage, the regent, is desperate enough to listen to the one gambler with a wild solution. In 1716, Law opens a bank, the Banque Générale, and does something France has never seen. He prints paper banknotes, each one a promise, redeemable for gold. And it works. Paper is lighter than gold, easier than gold, faster than gold. Trade flows, confidence returns. For the first time, a great kingdom is running on paper. And John Law is just getting started. Now comes the masterstroke. Law creates a company with a monopoly on France's enormous colony along the Mississippi, a place he sells as a paradise of gold and endless riches. In reality, it is mostly swamp. He sells shares in this dream to the public. Then he does the truly dangerous thing. He merges his money-printing bank with his colony company and starts printing fresh paper money so people can buy even more shares. A perfect loop. Demand explodes. A single share rockets from 500 livres to 10,000 in under a year, a gain of nearly 2,000%. The streets of Paris choke with frenzied buyers screaming to get in. Servants and shopkeepers become rich overnight, so many of them that France invents a brand new word just to describe them: millionaire. And John Law, the fugitive gambler, is now Controller General of all France, the richest and most powerful man in Europe. But here is the trap hidden inside the miracle. Those shares were not backed by real gold pulled from the Mississippi. There was almost none. They were backed by belief and by ever more printed paper. Law had quietly created far more paper money than there was gold in all of France. As long as everyone believed the paper was worth gold, it was. Law had stumbled onto the most dangerous secret in finance. Money is a shared story. And every story depends on the people who believe it. The moment they stop, it is just paper. Early 1720. A few clever investors grow nervous and quietly start cashing out, turning their paper shares back into solid gold. Then a few more. The whisper becomes a stampede. All of Paris rushes to turn paper into gold at once and discovers the unthinkable. There isn't nearly enough. There never was. The share price collapses. The banknotes, once worth a fortune, become worthless scraps. The new millionaires are wiped out in days. France's economy is shattered. And John Law, who months before ruled the wealth of Europe, flees the country in disguise, hunted and hated, and dies years later, poor, in Venice, gambling to the very end. But here is the twist. John Law wasn't wrong. He was just a century too early. He had proven that money doesn't need gold, it needs trust. And look in your pocket today, every note is exactly what he invented, paper backed by nothing but belief. We didn't reject John Law's idea, we just waited until we were ready to live inside it. Coin became credit, credit became metal, metal became paper, and paper became a number on a screen, money getting lighter and faster, and ever more dependent on one fragile thing, that we all keep believing. This was Coin and Crown. Next time, the family that learned to profit whether the story rises or falls. The coin always remembers.